how would you feel if consistently your senses were being attacked? I mean, on screen, the craziness of the audio. I mean, a consistent. And I'm talking Exorcist Believer, the official sequel to the original Exorcist film. Welcome to IJustWatched. I'm Joseph. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, just in case. But let's get into it. So diving into this movie. There's bits and pieces that I like. I mean, I think some of the aspects or designs or the visuals were great. Like there's potential within this movie, but it all goes out the window, especially because the first 2/3 of the film are very much search and rescue. We are searching for the girls, which I know is in the trailers. They disappear for 3 days. This movie relies so much on that buildup of them being lost, the families freaking out, trying to figure out what's going on. And although, yes, we do have two girls, so there's very clearly one family that is more important than the other, and that's the Fieldings. Him and his daughter are clearly, without question, the more important family, because that's the only family we really learn about. We get some backstory on him and his wife, what happened that caused her to die during the birthing process, and now we have his daughter and him. And then I very much figured, cool, we're gonna get some backstory on the other family. All we get really is that they're like super Sunday going church folk, and that's about it. There's no real development there. Even that girl doesn't get much information or anything about her either. So the idea of having both of them at the same time was good, just poorly executed, because like I said, it's all about the Fieldings. I don't even remember the other family's name. Con eso te digo todo. So that being said, there's parts where I think the girls did great. I love the practical effects, the makeup, their look, their design when they're possessed was great. That part looked good. Yes, and there's parts on the other side where it didn't look good CGI wise, or the attempt at something. One moment that I really enjoyed was when you see Mr. Fieldings looking at his daughter, and out of nowhere you just see the demon, boom, right behind him, and she's kind of looking at it. Nothing happens, and then it goes away, which reminded me of Insidious. So I like that moment, but that moment went nowhere. It doesn't build to anything. It doesn't happen again. It was just this brief moment. I'm like, cool, are we doing anything with that? But then it completely relies on your classic jump scare, which I know most spooky movies have jump scares, so I'm not entirely against having a couple, but I felt like this movie was so settled or so set in the fact that we need to attack your senses consistently. Just throw something at the screen, bring up the audio to something ridiculous, so no matter what, you naturally have to react and go, it was nonstop. So it really took away from the moments that would have been good. And then I think it gets lost in its own sauce cuando it's trying to combine these different religious, spiritual beliefs to do the exorcism. I mean, you have, 3 or 4 different ideologies present? Because all different religions do contain demons or different types of spirits and things like that. All spiritualities have something of that essence. So I thought it was cool that they're going to kind of come together to defeat this entity because it's so powerful. But really, you have this moment when they're trying to work together and the visuals are semi-hitting, but then it kind of gets lost again in its own idea. That being said, the Catholics, as per usual, are assholes when it comes to exorcism. And they're like, nah, not enough proof. I don't care if she's crawling up the wall and, speaking Latin in tongues. And no, not enough for me. So good luck, guys. You should check out a mental hospital. The usual stuff. Cool. They basically guilt, I forgot the priest's name, but he walks in. And the reason I'm saying this, because when he walks in, he has a whole slow motion while he's walking in with, I don't know what they're called, the thing that goes here that the other priest had. I almost expected it to flat back with some wind because he's a superhero. He's walking in all real slow, like I'm about to handle this. This demon considered it exercised. I was like, oh shit, cool. We're all about combining different ideologies, but it seems like that one might be the favorite here. And he does his thing. He's like, boom. I don't know Latin, but he starts speaking Latin and hitting it, right? And you're like, oh, we're about to win. And then he gets his neck snapped. And I was like, oh, it was all set up. Nothing happened. He literally did nothing. He walked in looking cool, like he was about to help and things were going to turn the tide and crash. I was like, okay. So that kind of felt purposeless. And then in the end, they don't win. I get it. In the first one, they don't really win. He's like, all right, you know what? Leave the girl alone. Take me. And he eats out the window. There's no self-sacrifice here. The father of the other girl, the little white girl, again, I don't remember their names, eventually goes, I choose you. And in that selfish act of sin, the demon's like, bet, so I'm taking your daughter. And you see the little Fielding girl, she gets freed and, she's all cut up and traumatized to shit. And then the other girl, you cut to where she is now, where they were doing this little seance, so that the Fielding girl could speak with her mother, so technically should have been her who went, because the other one seemed to just be helping her. You take us there, she's in the water, she trips, and you kind of see the demon for a sec. In that part, I was like, I wanted to see the design, because I thought we were committing to it, but it's really quick, and I was like, all right, yeah. I like the voice of the demon that play from it, but you can tell there's moments when the audio of the demon speaking was not matching with the lips. Yeah, Like, it was just little things like that just kept happening on top of this blatant in your face scares, which made me dislike this movie. I wouldn't recommend going to the movie theater for it. I don't think it's all that rewatchable when it's streaming. If it's October, as it is now, spooky season in full effect, check it out. You might enjoy pieces of it, but overall, not that rewatchable, not worth a trip to the theater. I want to hear your thoughts. Have you seen it? Are you gonna see it? Let me know down below how you felt about it. But until next time, stay safe, be well, y con mucho amor. Adios.